Day, legends, and welcome back to Aussie Politica, where we unpack the wild, the wacky, and the downright bewildering world of Australian politics with a side of truth and a sprinkle of sass. Today, we're diving headfirst into a political firestorm that's got tongues wagging, tempers flaring, and social media absolutely buzzing. Picture this: a Labour MP, a Sky News host, and a debate about who gets to wear which 26 what uniform. It's a clash of ideals, identities, and some serious double standards that'll have you questioning just how far we've strayed from common sense. So grab your coffee or your popcorn, because this one's a doozy. Here's the deal. Labour MP Ed Husk stood up in Parliament and dropped a bombshell. He wants to ban Australians from joining the Israeli Defense Force, IDF. Not just a polite suggestion, mind you, but a full-on demand, claiming that dual Israeli-Australian citizens signing up could be complicit in what he called a genocide in Gaza. Yeah, you heard that right. He's throwing around one of the heaviest words in the dictionary like it's confetti at a wedding. Now, this didn't sit well with Sky News host James MacPherson, who came out swinging with a verbal uppercut that's already gone viral. His take? Husk's logic is so twisted it's like saying waving an Aussie flag is fascism, a Palestinian flag is freedom, and an ISIS flag? Oh, that's just a youthful indiscretion. Ouch. That's the kind of roast that leaves a mark, and it's got people across the country nodding along or fuming in their group chats. So let's unpack this political cage match. Husk's argument hinges on the idea that Australians serving in the IDF could be tangled up in a morally murky conflict. Fair enough, war's messy, and Gaza's a lightning rod for heated opinions. But here's where it gets spicy. Why is a backbench MP playing moral gatekeeper, telling free citizens of a democratic nation which military they can or can't join? Australia is a place where we've always celebrated our multicultural roots, where you can be a proud Aussie while still cherishing your heritage. So when did it become okay for a politician to draw a line in the sand and say, "Nah, mate, that connection to your roots is off limits"? My freedom-loving spidey senses are tingling, and they're screaming, "This ain't it!" MacPherson's clapback wasn't just a zinger for the highlight reel. It cut to the core of a bigger issue plaguing Aussie politics. There's this bizarre trend where some causes get a free pass, while others get the side eye. We've seen politicians bend over backward to champion foreign protest movements, yet clutch their pearls when Aussies want to serve in the military of a democratic ally like Israel. And that ISIS jab? It's not just a cheap shot. It's a nod to a time when some folks were tiptoeing around Australians joining a literal terrorist group, calling it a base, while now they're ready to ban citizens from joining a recognized military. The hypocrisies. So thick you could cut it with a Vegemite knife. This isn't just about one MP's hot take. It's about the soul of Australian citizenship. What rights do we have as dual nationals? Can a politician cherry-pick which parts of your heritage are acceptable? Because that's a slippery slope to a place where personal freedom takes a backseat to political posturing. And let's talk about that word. Genocide. It's not a casual term you toss out in Parliament to score points. It's a legal and moral sledgehammer that demands rigorous evidence, not just fiery speeches. International courts, not backbenchers, get to make that call. Anything less is just grandstanding. The Jewish community's response was swift and fierce, and can you blame them? When you sling around terms like genocide and try to gatekeep military service, you're not just debating policy, you're questioning the legitimacy of a people's identity and their right to serve. That's personal. It's also a stark reminder of how selective outrage has become in our political circus. We've got MPs who'll march for foreign causes, but hesitate to defend the rights of their own citizens. They'll call out Australia Day as divisive, but stay silent on regimes that don't exactly scream freedom. It's like they've got a PhD in picking and choosing their battles. This whole saga ties into a bigger question. What does it mean to be Australian in 2025? We've wrestled with dual citizenship before. Remember those MPs caught out for forgetting to ditch their Kiwi or British passports? But now we're in uncharted waters, where it's not just about who can sit in Parliament, but what rights you have as a citizen with ties to another nation. MacPherson's flag-waving jab hits hard because it exposes the absurdity. When did loving your country, or its allies, become a problem? Why is one form of activism noble, but another gets you labeled as trouble? The Labour Party's in a tight spot now. Do they double down on Husk's stance or quietly pray the storm blows over? This isn't just about one MP's opinion. It's about whether Labour thinks it's their job to police where Australians can serve based on their own political lens. And let's be real, this isn't about protecting Aussies from harm. If it was, we'd be talking about citizens joining actual terrorist groups, not a democratic allies military. This is politics dressed up as principle, and Australians can smell the difference a mile away. The international angle matters too. Australia and Israel share democratic values and strategic interests. When an MP uses inflammatory rhetoric to limit citizen participation, it's not just a domestic jab. It's a poke at a key relationship. If we start banning service in certain militaries based on political whims, what's next? No Aussies in NATO missions? No peacekeeping in tricky regions? The precedent's a minefield, and MacPherson's calling it out for what it is. A dangerous double standard.